House Bill 1927 and gun rights in Texas. An overview of the debate around Texas House Bill 1927, eliminating licensing requirements for handguns. House Bill 1927 passed in 2021, eliminating the Texas requirement for a license to carry handguns openly or concealed. Critics argue this has contributed to more guns in untrained hands and escalating violence, and I agree. House Bill 1927 made several key changes to handgun laws in Texas, primarily removing training requirements and open carry restrictions while maintaining prohibitions in sensitive locations, such as schools and federal buildings. Societal problems with House Bill 1927. There's an increased access. Easier access to carrying firearms enables more untrained people to confront others with handguns. There's a lack of training. Eliminating licensing and training requirements means carriers may not understand safety procedures or consequences of their actions. There's a false sense of security. The ease of carrying a handgun gives some a false confidence to engage in confrontations. Accidental shootings. There's a higher rate of accidental discharge by untrained carriers, and it occurs much more frequently. Escalation of conflicts. More situations turn deadly when a firearm is readily available. Use of defensive force. House Bill 1927 will likely stimulate greater use of defensive force in perceived threats. There are research findings that indicate there's an increase in violent crime in right-to-carry states. There's a decline in violent crime in non-right-to-carry states. Right-to-carry laws are associated with more gun sales, and right-to-carry laws are linked to actual firearm use. And there's a few slides here. This slide right here shows that the decline in violent crime rate has been far greater in states with no right-to-carry laws from 1977 to 2019. The shaded lines indicate the rates in 1977, and the clear boxes show the rate in 2019. And on the far left are the never adopters, and you can see that rate declined quite a bit. And then in the middle are states that adopted between 1977 and 2019, and you can see there's a very small difference there. And states that adopted the right to carry law prior to 1977, again, a very slim margin. Here's another slide that shows that violent crime would begin to rise as soon as right-to-carry laws were adopted, and this shows between 1979 to 2014 in those states where the laws were adopted. You can see that it increased every time. There are some supporters, of course, for this law. The NRA, the governor of Texas, and there are people openly carrying handguns. And the arguments in favor of HB 1927 is the Second Amendment rights, that HB 1927 upholds the right to bear arms without unnecessary restrictions, self-defense and crime deterrence. They say that it's easier access to guns allows self-defense and may deter some crime. They also say training is not a guarantee of safety. Mandatory training does not guarantee responsible gun ownership. There is the constitutional carry and freedom, and HB 1927 trusts that law-abiding citizens and limits government control through licensing. The law is considered constitutional carry and reduces government regulation of handguns. There's also redundancy with federal background checks that make the state license redundant, and there is validity to that. My hope is that there's a decrease in gun violence. Even with an open carry law, many residents, like myself, hope to see gun violence decrease, and I could change my stance if clear statistics showed less violence after the law took effect. I believe that mandatory carrying law, where everyone has to carry, could have a deterrent effect. The reality of universal gun ownership may deter actual gun usage. If everyone could legally carry a gun and did so, mutual deterrence could ensue. With guns evenly distributed, people may hesitate to use them. Universal carry laws would create a level playing field. When everyone is armed, violent confrontations become less likely. That could be a deterrent. At any rate, at this time, This extreme law allows almost anyone to carry a loaded, concealed handgun essentially anywhere. So say Moms Demand Action. I agree. However, it is Texas, and this is where it's at.